Hi guys, it's Nepenthes from hitreset.co.uk and I'm going to bring you a short review of F1 2010. There's not going to be much gameplay footage here, it's more going to be the menu system and how they work, how you navigate through the game. I'll have a gameplay uploaded afterwards, just a short race to show you how that all works. But in the meantime, I just want to show you take you through the career modes. Played the game a little bit online, very impressed with it. I'm not a massive F1 fan, I'm not very good at the game, and I don't really understand the rules. Obviously I understand how you drive a car around a track, but there's a lot more to that than you would think. Like straight away you come into the hints and tips, and it gives you an array of these little quotes, and it tells you about your tyres and how you need to keep your engine good because you only get 4 engines per season and a limited number of tyres per weekend, and it can all get a bit much for somebody who's never played the game before. Takes you out to the paddock at the start. I'll take you into career mode. You meet your agent at the very start of the game. Your agent takes you through which team you want to be with, gives you a few options, not too much. You've got the race that you can go to. You can go back outside so you get into the other game modes. You can pick a helmet. There's not that much choice. I think there's 9 helmets to choose from. I went for the green one, no particular reason other than it's green. Takes you to the standings. Obviously I haven't had a race yet, so there's nothing to really see here other than the names that are in the championship. You can go to the constructions championship as well, and then it takes you to the race settings of the race. Not really understanding what the participation level is of the short race weekend or long race weekend is not very clear there. The race distance is pretty clear. Gives you difficulty level as well, easy, medium, hard or expert, and then depending on which level you have, you've got these flashbacks, which I assume if you crash in the race you can have a flashback and start again. I've got a qualifying objective and a race objective to be 20th and 18th respectively, which even on hard, which is the level I went for, I think I should be able to manage. There's one of the tyre rules again. You must use a set of prime and a set of option tyres throughout the race, and obviously tells you if you've got a puncture you need to go into the pits and change that, which is pretty obvious. We're gonna be racing in Bahrain today, which is the first one on the map, and it takes you to practice session. Like I say, I did actually run these sessions and have the race, but I just cut the footage out. You get your engineer on your right here. He takes you through some of the stuff in the garage. You've got your information for your practice. You can skip to qualifying or skip to the race if you don't want to do any of these. I guess for people that just aren't really interested in that and just want to race. And then you get this little screen in front of you which just gives you a little bit more information about where you are and what's going on. And to get out onto the track, these menus aren't very clear. I wasn't very impressed with it. To get out onto the track, it's just not obvious what you have to do. So it took a little bit of playing around. You just go into your engineer in the end and you can go to track there, but it's just not clear that that's what you have to do. You can choose which sector you want to go out to. I just chose to drive out. They put your tyres on, take the screen off, and away you go. You have your practice session. I actually smashed the car up during the practice session and smashed Lewis Hamilton's car up by accident as well, and even clipped Jenson Button, I think it was, on one corner and made him lose a wheel. So the practice session was a bit of a failure for me. You've got your engineer here. You can retire back to the paddock where we came from and do your quick car setup, which I'll take you through in a moment, or you can go to your qualifying or your race. I skipped the practice session because I had a bit of practice, smashed the car up, went to qualifying. I qualified 15th, but I cut a few corners, so I actually dropped 15 places, which is impossible from 15th, but yeah, basically started last on the grid. When you come into this, you can do your car settings. In the quick car setup, it gives you a range of choices, which basically depends on the weather and then what kind of track you're on. So at the very end of the dry spectrum, you've got the top speed is very high, but the downforce is very low. So that's good for tracks with long straights where you can build up your top speed and really pick up some time on those laps. But then tracks like Monaco, where you just can't get any speed on the straights, you want it to be a bit lower, so you've got a lot of downforce on the car, so you can get around the corners a bit quicker. There's just the qualifying there to show that I did actually finish 15th, 3.5 seconds off pole, which isn't that great, but like I say, I'm not very good at the game. take you to the race. You come back into the garage. I'll just take you through a little bit of the options that you get here. You can have a look at the best lap, your best lap, the times of the other racers, the temperatures and the chance of rain, the track information. It's 49 laps usually. We're doing 20% race here, so I actually did 10 laps. And then you take your 2 tyres. Like I said, you have to pick 2 of these. You have to do your option and your prime. It takes you through race strategy. It wasn't very clear here either. It looks to me like I've got a 1-stop strategy there after 7 stops. But after lap 4 they told me to come in, which I did. They refueled me, changed my tyres, and after lap 8 they told me to come in again, which I just ignored because I was already last anyway and I didn't really need to be in there for any more time, considering I had enough fuel and the tyres were still in good condition. Yeah, and it just struck me as a bit odd. I don't know if that's a bug in the game or if it pays attention to the race strategy really, or if it just goes on what's happening to you in the race. On the starting grid here, the graphics are really good. It's very impressed. The attention to detail is immense. We've got Degrassi just on the left here. He's got the red block around his name because he's my teammate, so I want to try and avoid him at all costs. Don't really want to take him out, especially considering he's probably just as bad as me if he's in the same team as me. And the race starts, and I'll take you through a bit of the race. I didn't leave much of it in here, maybe the first sort of 20-30 seconds. Thought, I'd just take you through where the carnage happens, all the good bits. I get a pretty good start and nick a couple of positions straight away, push truly wide a little bit there. There's a little bit of an accident there too. So I managed to pull myself up 3-4 positions from the first corner. And then what you see on the road here, you've got these little arrows that turn red, orange and green, and they're basically indicators for your braking. Like I say, for somebody who doesn't play the game often or has never played the game before, these can be really helpful because if you don't know the tracks, you don't know what corners are coming, then you're just going to keep flying off left, right and centre, which I still tend to do even with the brake assist on, but not the brake assist, sorry, the brake lines. Yeah, so they're pretty good. I mean, I've got a few friends that don't use them at all. They know the tracks like the back of their hand. They're very good at the game. They're very experienced at the games. But for people who, never played it, or maybe young people who don't really understand the concepts and whatnot, these are very helpful. The red's pretty much brake. The orange is just let go of brake, don't accelerate. You just kind of coast, and then the green is obviously accelerate. They're not 100% accurate. You can manipulate them a little bit. I mean, you can brake late and go in the corner a bit faster but come out quite slow, or you can brake early and come out the corner quick. It really just depends on your racing style. I tend to do a bit of none of that and just really do nothing at all. Just mess up every corner pretty much. Cut corners a few times, got a few warnings, got another warning there for cutting the corner, the last corner of the track. Just skip to the end here on the 23rd. See the line there wants to take me into the pit, but I'm not going in. Finished 23rd, 94.8 seconds behind the leader, which I think is a valiant effort. Mark Webber clearly unrealistically wins. I owe myself a trophy for my first race in career, the Rookie Driver Trophy. Takes you to the driver standings. Obviously I'm bottom because we haven't got any, and the constructors standings. Red Bull got a fair few points there. Where are we? Loading. So it takes you to your objectives. Objective to finish 20th for qualifying. I didn't, even though it says I did. I mean, I finished 15th, but I started on the grid 24th, and the race objective was to finish 18th, which again I didn't. We've got this little XP system here. It takes you up through the levels. The higher your level, the better chance you've got of joining a better team at the end of the season. And takes you to an interview. I wasn't really impressed with the interviews. There was only 2 questions and only 3 answers for each question. It wasn't really that in-depth and pretty pointless, really. But if you like that sort of thing, then that's fine. Then it just takes you back into your trailer, I guess, back to your agent, and you can carry on and go to the next race or go back outside and go into multiplayer. That brings this clip to a close. Thanks for watching.